Hello, welcome back to episode 5 of Silence of the Spiritsong. It would seem as though the summer vacation gremlins have taken away another one of our players today, Alexia slash Sotto. So sorry, just was hearing myself for a second there. It's very distracting. Yes, we seem to have lost one of our players to a cruise in the Mediterranean. Can't really compete with that. So we'll proceed with the players, with the rest of the players. And Junimo slash Harlowe is running a little late, having some technical difficulties on her end, but she'll be joining us as soon as she can. And I apologize in advance. I've been fighting a couple of pretty nasty viruses this week, so I'm a little... So if I end up hacking or whatever, please excuse me. I will try to move away, at least move away from the mic when that happens. All right. So when we last left our players, they were in the dam below. They have just recently stuffed Big Pookie into a garden shed in Sotto and Merle's backyard, hoping that he won't get into any mischief. Despite the fact that he is crammed into that shed, cannot move, basically got his knees hugged up against his chest, wings folded right in. His horn is kind of poking through one of the boards in the roof, but that's the best you could do on such short notice. Merle has offered, and Sotto actually, have offered to take care of Big Pookie, while the rest of you continue on with your deliberations or what you decide to do next. There are a number of paths before you. A number of ideas were thrown out at the end of last session. So where would you like to go today? I should throw that to you guys.
I don't know. Where do you guys want to go?
Just a quick recap for you there. You really only have 2 choices at the moment. That will deliver you more leads. One would be the Crown, where you said you intended to go and perhaps warn them of an impending war, and perhaps find a way to deal with Pookie a little bit more permanently, so that Merle can have his tool shed back, and or the Luminarium, where you've been instructed by several people to meet the Archivist to gain more knowledge, information, and of course to return, or not to return, but to actually submit Professor Silverberry's masterwork tome, his lifelong project, into the archives. Enid, I believe you are carrying that tome now?
Yeah, because I was trying to read it.
All right. You also suggested going back to where Koji used to live, where you first, when the ancient heroes, 1,000 years ago, picked them up from the shores of a beautiful pool at the bottom of a tall, sparkling veil-like waterfall. There are many waterfalls that feed the river valley of the Dreamwood, so you're not sure which waterfall it is, and you're hoping to get that information from the maps and charts and historical notes within the Luminarium as well. I'll say at least one of you knows this as well. There is a smaller library within the Hole in the Bowl, but that library isn't really for historical or academic type things. It's more of spiritual nature. It would contain things more like holy texts or scriptures dedicated to one of the pantheon of gods that are worshipped in Dreamwood. So, with that extra little bit of information, does that help in deciding where you want to go next?
If we were to go to the Crown, what evidence do we have of the impending war?
Just hearsay.
Yeah, really. That's what I was thinking
From
too.
Wither
Right?
Root. Yeah.
That's it.
I
You
don't
do
think we'd be
have-
able to be very convincing.
Oh, actually, the heart, the destroyed heartstone, I believe, is now turned to dust.
But
Thanks to Pookie.
I can make an illusion of it. So,
Okay.
so we still have, something there.
But what you don't know is if the people of the crown know that the heartstone contained the soul of somebody that ushered the Spiritsong into existence in the first place. They may not realize the significance of the heart knot. So it's really right. You're right. It's your word.
Again, I think as much as Enid hates this, we probably have to go to the Luminarium.
That's what I was thinking. Yep.
Because I feel like last time too, when we were discussing this, I feel like don't we have to get something from the Luminarium itself? Oh yeah, where Pookie's home is, right? A map.
But Pookie did say that he could lead us there.
But that would be like days and days and days walking around with
giant rainbow demon.
quasi-imaginary creature.
Yeah. Why is Enid adverse, or why is Enid reluctant to go to the Luminarium?
I haven't been back. I want to go back.
I don't blame you, kid. I don't want to go back to Shady Grove either.
I don't want to go back to going back anyways. So we should go forward somewhere.
Ha 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 ha.
What's at the Luminarium that you don't want to, I guess, revisit? Maybe if you haven't been back for so long, like what are the odds that whatever is there, did they hurt you there? Is there somebody that you need to teach a lesson to?
Oh, they're there. I don't have anything much to say.
Let the bird do the talking.
I'm pretty good at that.
You're with us now. It'll be better.
Does anyone have disguise on?
I have a disguise kit. We can make you look like not you. We can pin your ears back. Can you tuck your wings in?
I don't know, kid. Walk in there with your chin up.
Yeah, but chin up, wings down, though. If we're trying to keep her on the down low, we'll figure it out.
I don't think there's much hiding. Not just because I'm recognizable, but specifically by this person.
Is this
They're
person?
much too skilled to fall to deceit.
Who is this person?
You'll see.
Does he have a-
see? Does that mean
What does
we're
he look
going?
like? If we should be aware of this person, at least we should know what they look like.
it seems as though this person has been held in high regard by others, and it would be a failure of mine to taint any experience or information with personal feelings or attitudes. Do I want to go? No.
I don't know what you're saying there, kid, but I think we got to go find out, and we got your back.
If you don't want to be involved, I mean, we can try to do this, just me and Stool Guy, but one of us is much better looking than the other and probably have higher chances of getting things done.
Anybody steps to you, they'll want me to go through.
My concern is not only for myself. Back at the research center, they were to send Harlowe there, and I don't believe that that would be in her best interest. I can handle myself.
So do you
I'm
think
not sure.
Should Harlowe hang back?
I don't think we can make her.
This is true.
But they are expecting us, and I think that we should be, as in whatever this world's equivalent of chess is, 2 steps ahead. So we need a plan, and we need to execute it knowing what we are walking into.
Well, we got the brains, the brawn, and the looks. So how are we going to do this? Step 1, which direction is the Luminarium in? Would we know this? I mean, I'm sure she would know this.
I mean, well, we can't see it from the down below, but we definitely have seen it from the tangle.
Okay.
Just point up.
So we got to go up.
Okay.
So you got things here? Cool. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
And we were
Merle's
just finished breakfast, right? Are we short rested, long rested?
Oh yeah,
I believe you've had a chance to long rest.
Oh, I believe that. I love that.
Did we do that last time?
We did not, because I still have spell slots spammed here. Let's give it the old long rest.
Long rest.
Okay. Next level up. Taking this guy's self. Don't you worry about that.
Okay. So after a hearty breakfast served up by Merle, you say your goodbyes, brief farewells. This is only perhaps a day excursion anyway, to Merle and to Sotto and the children. And you make your way back up the tunnels, the ramp that will bring you back to the tangle. It, again, is a long journey. It'll take you the better part of a few hours to make that traversal up to the surface. Upon doing so, you are immediately by this time of day, the elevators are quite busy, lowering people down to the tangle, bring people up to the hole in the ball, and maybe even some people all the way up to the crown. So you find an elevator that will take you to the Luminarium. That will cost a total of 3 copper pieces to whoever would have that.
Where is my money at?
That's a good question.
Where is my money at? Well, I only have gold. Is there like a day pass I can buy? Who is it automatic, or is there like somebody there? Is it like a machine? Is there somebody manning the elevator?
These are a manual. No, they are hooked up to a series of pulleys and winches and whatnot.
Okay, so
But
it just
they are.
money to function.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it give change?
No.
Okay. Does it?
But
Is
they'll
there,
give you a little pass though, for
is
sure.
there is there like how big is the slot? Does it only accept copper or does it accept everything else?
Oh, sorry, it is manual. There is actually an attendant there.
Oh, okay.
Exchange.
Yeah.
Is his name Emmanuel? Because that would be amazing. Just saying.
Yeah. the elevator.
The manual elevator operator. Say that 6 times
Manual.
fast.
So yeah, what he'll do is for 1 gold piece, he'll give each of you a free day pass, and he'll write his own signature on there, signifying that you have paid up front.
I got this, guys. And I'll flip him a gold.
All right.
Old Bog nods his head at Emmanuel, says thank you.
Need time.
She's looking a little bit like a wet cat in the corner.
Stop. I mean,
Need time. All right. So you make your way up to the Luminarium. All right. Where is that coming from? Oh, okay.
how long is that elevator ride up there?
That ride would have probably taken you maybe 20 to 30 minutes. It's a slow ride.
Slow ride.
It's a manual elevator. Emmanuel's working as hard as he can.
Exactly.
Cut him a break.
When you arrive on this branch near the crown, you're immediately greeted by a series of towering crystal-looking buildings, catching and reflecting the light like diamonds, refracting the light in such ways that it seems to cast rainbows across the tree behind it. Beneath those, you see a number of smaller buildings used for study halls, and some of them are even residences for students who stay on campus and professors. Enid, you know this place well. You know where everything is. Where would you like to go?
Would we be able to get to the maps without running into Kieran, or do we have to go through Kieran to get to the maps?
Depends on which map you're looking for. If you want like more contemporary maps, probably not. But if you want more specialized maps or older maps, then you would need to go to the Archivist.
Did you want to use the disguise kit? Do you want to look something else? Or somebody else? Do we want to change
No.
it?
And it would just be embarrassing.
Okay.
There's only one way through this, and it's to face it head on.
What do academics normally wear? Who are we looking for? What's
Yeah,
his,
who
what does he
are we
look
looking
like?
to avoid?
Think,
Well, we're looking for maps. They look like a piece of paper with topography drawn on them. If there's someone you would like to speak to, there's the dean.
I mean, he should know where the maps are. You know where the maps are?
Yes?
Caesar. Sorry, not Caesar. Just your name just popped up on your screen. That's why I said that. Kokuro and Old Bog Can you guys both make insight checks for me, please?
You got it.
All right.
Tell me the truth, girl.
I mean, you could already sense that Enid is very uncomfortable coming back here. There's something or someone that she is trying to desperately avoid. There might be ways to work around this person or thing to help Enid cope, but the very fact that you are here standing in front of the Luminarium, you can tell. Actually, Enid, describe how Enid feels in your own words.
I mean, the Luminarium is gorgeous. It was always a place that was home. And so it's, not to be cliche, but bittersweet. You know, this is the safest place she knows, and that was made unsafe. It's both a sense of belonging and a sense of not belonging. It's not so much about, I mean, like, obviously I don't want to go see Kieran, but it's less that and more just like tainted water, you know? Seeing it without rose-colored glasses has a different flavor.
I'm sorry that tastes bad. If there is anything, I said, I'm sorry that tastes bad. And if there's anything that me or, stool guy can do to make this a little bit more comfortable for you, just let us know.
Going home ain't easy. I know what you're talking about.
Let's just be efficient, get what we need, leave.
Lucky for you, I have my efficient jacket on, and I'm gonna minor illusion my jacket to look like a fancy, like academic, scholarly professor-looking jacket thing.
Sure. You can look around and you see professors and students alike wearing these robes. Most of them are black with different colors of trim, depending on what area of academia or the arcane arts they happen to be studying. What color would you like to make your ribbons?
Oh my gosh, the color of like that fuchsia purpley that I wear with everything. Of course.
Okay.
Whatever that means. I graduated in.
Okay. And you notice that students have just like almost like a pinstripe on their black cloaks. They'll indicate that they're students, whereas professors have the full like 3 banded colors. Are you going for a student or professor look?
Ooh. Just really flashy, so I'm probably gonna go with the professor look.
All right. Professor Kokuro in the house.
Enid, how do I look? How does this look like? Where do I go? Which crystal tower is where I reside?
I don't know, is there a school for fuchsia?
For fuchsia? No, fuchsia is not a color.
Whatever the closest one is.
It's more of a, I guess, a burgundy.
Sure, we'll go with that.
All right, so burgundy would be more mostly affiliated with the artificers and the gadgeteers.
Cool. Figure it out as we go.
All right. So is that the faculty that you would like to go towards?
I don't think that's in the same direction as the maps.
Not really.
Depends.
So the maps would be housed in the central library, shared by all the students. It's in the large tower in the center there, and it's a multi-story library, and it's absolutely stunning. It feels as if you're encased in this crystal building, and you have a 360 view of the tree and its surroundings. You could literally see probably for scores of miles in any direction.
Hmm.
The archive is in the same building, kind of below.
Guess I'll walk to the library.
All right.
On your lead, I'm walking very scholarly, like I know my shit. Just
Old
Yeah.
Bog is lagging behind. He's completely a fish out of water. And he's wondering if they have a handball team at this college. Maybe Kokoro can make him look like he's on the handball team. I don't know. This is just like not his place here. He's 6 feet tall, all hunched over, trying to keep a low profile if that's possible.
You're her dad. You're her dad.
Ah, all right. That's good.
Yeah.
Dropping her off. Good luck this semester, kid. You'll do great. Call
Adopted.
me if you need anything.
Yes.
Adopted for sure. Also,
Don't-
Enid, if I have to
don't-
change my outfit, you gotta let me know.
Don't call me if you need money.
Well, apparently I
dropping
don't
it.
have any, so
You're dropping your kid off to grad school. That's awesome. Is Old Bog wearing his armor and carrying his weapon right now?
He's got a chain shirt. He's got his hand axes on his hip pockets. Yeah, I can't imagine I changed clothes. That's just my work
Okay.
attire.
Yeah, you definitely stand out. In fact, what is Enid wearing today? Knowing that you're going to the Luminarium, would Enid have put on her scholar's robes? No? Okay.
just her same old blouse and pants, her researching outfit.
All right. The two of you stick out, and you are drawing attention. People are wondering, who are these people? Why is the professor following one of them? And you do see one, a strig owl, a little larger than Soto, a little burlier, and carrying like what looks to be like a wooden baton of some kind, march straight up to you, Old Bog. I'm sorry, sir. You can't bring that, as he points to your hand axe, anywhere on campus. Weapons are not allowed on campus unless specifically sanctioned by the Luminarium.
Yeah, I'm sanctioned. Don't worry about it.
Of course you are then. My mistake. Can I see the paperwork?
No.
You've put me in an awkward situation, sir. Either you have the paperwork and you are sanctioned and I'm simply bothering you for no reason, or
Right? That's what you said it. You got it. You got that right.
but
Bothering me for no reason. Go about your business.
Can you make a deception check? It doesn't sound like you're intimidating him. You're
No,
just
not really. Just sort of
bluffing at him.
yeah, bluffing. I would say bluffing. Maybe a little bit of intimidation. Let's try persuasion.
I'm sorry, sir. I hate to be a thorn in your side on this beautiful day, but you'll need to surrender your axe. If you
What
want it,
is taking so long here? Can we please get a move on? Please.
sorry,
Bear with
Professor.
me.
I'm just trying.
With me. I understand what you're trying to do, and I appreciate it, but we're moving. We've
Oh.
got places to go. Do you? Apparently not.
You're.
I am.
Oh, can you make either deception or persuasion check? You can do it with advantage.
Let's see. Deception or what was the other one?
Persuasion.
They're both pretty good.
I'm just going to take the first roll,
Okay.
which is a 19. Oh, very well. I'm so sorry to have bothered you, Professor. I didn't realize he was with you. That's all I need to hear. As long as he's sanctioned by a professor, it's fine with me.
Not a problem. I appreciate you. You're just doing your job. We're working on some gadgetry, and it involves sharp objects to deal with. So that being
Of
said,
course.
we're off to the library to do some research. Mr. Bog, Miss Bog, move along.
Have a good day, sir. And he just quickly scurries off.
Old
Come
Bug
on.
just keeps lumbering along.
Let's go. Lumber quicker. Lumber quicker.
Enid, I need you to roll percentile dice for me, please.
How's that first? Let's go. Oh, wait. No, I can do it this way. Let's do it this way. The D100, yeah?
Mm-hmm. 5. All right. You walk into the lobby of the Grand Library. Look around quickly to see if there's anything or anyone you recognize. And there is none. Can you guys just pause 1 second? I smell something burning. I just need to check on that. I'll be right back.
That's
Well,
not
that's
good.
not good. Somebody call 911.
Someone call 911.
We just start dancing.
On the dance floor. You guys remember that song?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dancing in the library dance floor.
Miriam.
Map dancing.
So sorry about that. That was
Everything
weird.
okay?
Yeah, my neighbor's burning something, and my room just filled with smoke. So I was just like, what the heck?
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
Yeah. All right. So you made your way into the lobby of the Grand Library. Enid, there was a moment where you realized, since you're not in disguise, you work with a number of professors and even some of the grad students who probably are still around at this time doing their own research. Luckily, none of them are here at this time. So did you want to go upstairs to the main library or downstairs to the archives?
I think it could be useful to have like comparative maps. So it could be useful to have some contemporary maps. And then this is in no way me avoiding the inevitable. You can just do the thing that's easier, baby steps.
All right, so up it is for first.
The library, yeah.
The main library. All right.
The library. Up
So-
to the normal maps.
All right, so you head upstairs, and yeah, you guys look about, and it is absolutely stunning up here. There are rows upon rows of tables with small lanterns periodically spaced along them. There's a very hushed, almost reverent lack of sound in these rooms, even though you're surrounded by hard crystalline surfaces. Sound here just seems to get absorbed. It's almost as if there's a silent spell cast here. You see a number of students sitting along these tables, studying earnestly. A few of them look up as you enter. Most of them disregard you to their minds and thoughts still wrapped around whatever they're reading in front of them. A few of them that aren't sleeping do kind of watch as your group makes their way across the length of the library to the maps section. This is a large cabinet with large flat pull-out drawers, much like for art. where you can pull them out and pull out these large sheafs of maps. There are smaller maps that have been scrolled up nearby. But what I will have you do, Enid, since this is your jam, I will have you roll. Let's see, what is a good roll here? Either investigation or history.
It's the same.
And you'll have advantage on this roll.
Let's do history. And then I don't know why that didn't do advantage. I'll just roll twice. And it's not the same roll. A 9 and a 6. But they looked the same.
All right. So you spend a few moments shuffling through. You're looking for maps that have waterfalls that indicate where the waterfalls are with respect to the river valley, with it knowing the song of the ballad of the Spiritsong and the general proximity of the stories that they told of how the heroes of that age long past escorted Koji from that waterfall all the way to the Jowa Evertree. While you're doing this research, Kokuro and Old Bog, what are the two of you doing? Because this is going to take Enid a little bit of time to do this research.
Can we still hear each other, or are we still under the silence spell where we're at right now?
The whole place seems to have silence cast on it.
Okay. I'm going to look at Old Bog and be like,
yeah, old Bog will try to maybe pull his drawers up over his axe or something like that. But other than that, he's scratching his ear, mulling around, maybe flipping through some books, looking at pictures.
can I do... Sorry, go ahead.
Would Old Bog know how to read?
Maybe at an elementary school level. Yeah, he went to elementary school back at Shady Grove, but never anything further than that.
Okay. Yeah, these books make absolutely no sense to you, and there aren't any pictures.
Well, then he's just getting pissed off at that point. He's flipping through, tossing books aside. These books suck.
Can I do like a perception check to see if anybody? I don't really know if there's like campus security or something like that. I mean, obviously, like 2 of them stick out. So I just kind of want to see if I spot anything like that. Also, during the perception check, I wanted to see too, if I have to roll a different one, that's fine too. To see if for whatever reason I would know to change my outfit or like the colorations on it from where I'm at right now.
All right, go ahead and make a perception check.
Not very good at this.
14. So with a 14, I will tell you that there are a couple of students that are basically staring at you guys. They're no longer like looking at their notes or the books or scrolls in front of them. They are like literally watching you guys. It's as if they'd never seen someone like you in the library before. You take a second quick glance around to see if there are any other professor types in here.
Mm-hmm.
And there aren't any.
Okay. So just try to get a visual. Is Enid in like a separate room, or is she within like open view of everybody?
Open view. There are no rooms in this place. It's just all open.
Is there rows of like where books are and stuff, or is all that up against the walls, or is there like rows like in library?
They're kind of built around these cylinders, basically, like that extend way above your head. So if you want to get to any books up there, you need to pull up. It has a ladder that kind of swings around the outside of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to climb up it to get to the books up there.
Mm.
But the drawer of maps that Enid is looking through is just a plain square table, kind of off to one section that deals specifically only with maps. Like there's globes there and stuff like that.
Okay. Um. So I'm gonna try to grab Old Bog's attention, or just go grab him, pretty much, and just try to walk around the like cylindrical bookcase, I guess, to try to avoid the view of the two people that are looking at us.
Sure. Yep.
And then, like, as we walk in behind there, I kind of want to tell him it's like,
Old Bog goes willingly. He's literally just mulling about, having no, like, fish out of water. Oh, yeah, so you tug on my elbow, take me behind the pole. Okay, I'll go with you. I don't know what you're pointing at. I don't know what this means, but whatever. Two eyes. Yeah, we're playing charades at this point. I have no idea.
I'm just so frustrated. I'm gonna change my outfit, minor illusion, like a student's outfit, so that I look like I kind of belong. And then I'm gonna walk around the pillar. As I walk around the pillar, I'm gonna take Old Bog to just.
He gives you the thumbs up.
And then I'm gonna walk over to Enid next to her to just kind of like make her seem like she fits in a little bit better, kind of like she's something to look for something.
Because you're doing this specifically to throw attraction, the attention of these two individuals that have been like clocking you this entire time, I'll say that as soon as you come back around that cylindrical bookcase back into their line of sight, you notice one of them has gotten up and has made their way to the door.
Does Old Bog still see me?
Yeah, the Old Bog would be right there with you.
Okay. I'm just gonna grab him and push him towards the person that. Wait, do I have any paper on me? Paper/pen? Question mark.
Do you? Otherwise, there are tons of students around with paper and pen.
If Harlow's
Bug
with us, she does too.
Literally yelling at you. What
Harlow's
are
with
you saying?
us, right?
He has no idea.
Technically, quote unquote.
Harlowe, I'm going to say Harlowe for now is not with you.
Okay,
Harlow's
perfect.
gone exploring.
Okay.
Gone exploring at the Luminarium?
Yeah.
I don't think I would let her do that.
Well, I
If
mean,
she's coming, then she needs to, like a parent, just be a man.
I'm not gonna try to take paper from a student. Just gonna do what I do. I'm just gonna push him towards the person that's moving.
All right. So I'll just say this: Harlowe. Then, if Enid would have prevented Harlowe from going off on her own in the Luminarium, I'll just say that Enid is still down below in the tangle, taking care of some business there, or whatever, and we'll join you back in the Luminarium.
Which you can.
Yeah.
Harlow, okay.
And Old Bog, you have been shoved forcefully by Kokuro towards the door of the library.
All right.
There's Old Bog too.
Just tell me where you want me to stand. I'm looking for a stool, basically, at this point.
Oh my gosh, no. I'm gonna roll my eyes super hard and then I'm just gonna go follow him. And can we keep like somewhat of a distance behind the other guy that got up and left? He left, right?
Yes. He left.
Yeah.
He's walked through the door.
Yeah. So
I need to make two rolls. First, a stealth. See if you can do this inconspicuously.
both of us or just me?
I think Old Bog's looking for a stool.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be stealthy.
Cool.
And if you want me outside the library, just push me outside the library. Couldn't care less.
All right. And next roll is going to be perception to see if you can see where that person went.
Oh, we're rolling okay today.
All right. So you sneak out of the library following the student, and you see them leaving the building completely. And they're heading to this cluster of buildings here, which house the professors. Follow them.
No. No. I was gonna. Is Old Bog outside now?
No, I think he's found a stool to sit on by now.
Great.
Perfect.
Super great. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna keep eyes on him until I can't see him anymore, and then I'll make my way back to the library.
Okay. You see him disappear into what looks to be a tiny house. And this student was a Mapak. But the house he went into, he has his hunch quite far over to get through the doorway. It's probably the smallest house of this cluster of homes.
Like Silverberry size?
Like Gerbine sized.
Drew Beans.
Gerbine.
Oh, Jerbean. I literally just pictured Drew Barrymore as like a tiny little bean, and I was like, please tell me that's what's in there.
Back to Enid. You have spent quite some time now shuffling through these maps. Out of the corner of your eye, you see your friends kind of duck behind the pillar of books and then shoving one another. Before one of them seems to storm off on his own, and the other one finds a stool to sit on. Unfortunately, these maps don't give you the level of detail that you're looking for. They're very generic, and the depictions of waterfalls on them almost seem like an artistic touch or flavor rather than being accurate.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm mostly looking for just like modern topography. Like, you know, like we used to have those like projectors and you put like the plastic sheet over them, like to compare. That's kind of what the concept I'm going for is like, here's a modern map. And then once we have a more ancient map, we can.
Can you make a straight intelligence check with advantage?
Sure. Intelligence, it's all.
And for this case, yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how, if I can remember how to do with advantage.
Alt. Yeah.
It's not letting me. So what I might do is just roll d20s, and I have a +3. +3. Oh yeah. Oh. Ha ha. I'm learning how to do things. Hooray!
So
I did
19.
it correctly.
The other thing you've realized, the maps in front of you, they span various, they're different ages or different parts of history of the Dreamwood. And it dawns upon you that these depictions of waterfalls that feed the river valley, not only could they be artistic renditions of what is actually there, But due to the nature of these waterfalls and the fact that they come from runoff from glacier and snow-capped mountains and ice melt, they can change. Where there's a waterfall one year, it could have completely dried up, and a waterfall appeared even like 10 feet or 10 miles away from it. It changes almost every year.
Right. That's great. That's helpful. I don't know if this would be helpful, but like in all of the like stories from the ancient times, was there any like description of like the map of the stars at the time? Like, oh, there was this constellation in the sky during.
Yes, there are star charts here as well, but they don't go back that far. Those you would need to go to the archive for.
Of course.
And you know that there are star charts that Professor Silverberry has been tracking for quite some time in his masterwork tome, too.
Yeah. Last thing. Is there a copy of the archivist's research in the library itself?
Yes. All theses produced by graduating students are published and housed here for everyone to share in that knowledge and to build upon.
Can I pick it up?
Mm-hmm.
Is it nice looking?
Yeah, it's a nice reddish leather-bound tome. It's quite thick and substantive when you hold it. Very nice, top quality parchment. The handwriting is impeccable, and in almost like gold leaf, is written the name, Kieran Nightingale.
I just want to carry it with me.
Okay, you know that you cannot leave the library with it, though.
No,
Okay.
just gonna
Okay.
carry it with me.
Okay.
And then for the maps, as hard actually. Another random question: how did I communicate back home when I was at the Luminarium? Did I just use the postal service in the Tangle?
Yeah. So the Luminarium often had their own messenger system, which is more reliable than relying on folks in the Tangle to provide that service, mainly because they needed like research notes and data from the field, from their field agents or explorers or scientists to feed their research. So they needed that quite quickly. So there is a place in one of these buildings housing carrier pigeons.
Could I still use it?
Sure.
Otherwise, I would just have Harlowe. That could be her little adventure. It's finding a carrier pigeon. But I thought, we'll see.
All right. With all this information in hand, that you pretty much come to a dead end up here. You've looked through star charts, you've looked through maps of the Dreamwood, and even beyond. You found the thesis, how it's stolen from you. There's nothing much that this library can give you, and you're quite sure of that. Everything else you need would be down in the archives. It would be around this time when you see Kokuro returning from whatever excursion he went on. He returns back to the library.
Would we have to copy down maps if we wanted to like?
Or you would have to ask one of the scribes to copy it for you, because that could be a very labor-intensive process.
I just don't know how much time we spent or want to spend. It could be useful to have these maps. I don't have a photographic memory.
Are we still under the silence? Nobody can talk still?
No one can talk.
Okay.
There are scribes positioned, like there are scribing stations around the perimeter of this room.
Like we can scribe ourselves?
No, there are scribes that you can hire to copy text from a tome or a map onto a separate piece of paper for you.
Is there is there an empty scribe station?
Roll a D100. I'm going to say there is a 10% chance. So if you roll a 10 or less, there's an empty station.
Okay, let's see. 10 or less?
Yeah.
How do I where are the dice at? Okay, D100. Let's straight up D100, or do you want me to do a D100 and a D10 too?
Just a D100. 7.
There it is.
There's an empty scribes table.
There's an empty scribes table! Okay. So, I mean, that's good news, but I don't really know. Would I know what she's trying to tell me? Are you trying to tell me anything? Because I kind of went back up to help her to kind of look like.
So you see what the other scribes are doing. You would see students walk up to one of them, point to a number of pages in a book or a map or a scroll, and then the scribe would basically start transcribing from that onto a separate piece of paper that the student can take away. And then they pass some coin to pay for it.
I'm going to look at Enid and I'm just going to give her a thumbs up or a thumbs down to see if she found something. Oh. Nat 20.
No, I'd probably just pay the scribe, but I don't have money, so that I'll look at you.
So I'm gonna go around the cylinder and minor illusion a scribe's robe or whatever they're wearing on me. And I'm gonna take the maps to the scribe station myself.
Okay.
And I have a feature called expert duplication.
Okay.
Which lets me, when I copy writing or craft work produced by myself or someone else, I have the advantage on ability checks to produce an exact duplicate.
All right. So you take the seat at the last scribe station. You notice a scribe next to you, which is a servant. She just kind of curiously turns her head to look at you, like kind of a what the fuck kind of look.
I give everything's okay look. Like I've known her all my life.
She doesn't say anything because she's in the middle of transcribing something herself. But you can see her. She's obviously distracted by the fact that you have sit down in the station next to hers.
I'm gonna do the thing like what kids do when they're like trying to get the other student not to cheat from them. Okay, just.
All right.
I picked 3 maps. And I want one from like the farthest back I can get.
Okay.
In the library. One that's kind of like relatively, like maybe 500 years later, and then one like recent.
Okay, the map that goes farthest back is only a few hundred years old.
So like whatever, just like a farthest back, a middle-ish one, and a most recent one.
Okay. Yep.
And I have to ask, do you? Well, I mean, would I know if it's the full map or just like part of the map? Like you would have to be next to me to tell me like what you want me to do.
Full map.
Oh, okay.
All right. Despite the fact that you have this amazing feature that allows you to expertly duplicate anything, like your
I still have to
can't do Xerox. It does take a bit of time to do that. So while you're busy transcribing this, Enid, do you pay?
Him?
Because everyone else, you know the deal. Scribes charge money.
I guess I could like pretend. I don't have any money. I'll try to steal something from his pocket and give it to him.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check.
Messy.
Not
Bad. All right. What is your passive perception? Oh, sorry.
Can I choose to like fail pretty much?
Yeah, you can choose to fail.
Okay. Passive is 12 though, just in case.
Okay. All right. So you managed to pull out a handful of coins. Go ahead and roll a d6.
me.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God, if you rob me blind.
Yeah, you only get a handle on one gold piece.
That's fine because I'm just handing it right back to him.
Maybe that's enough.
Oh, that's true.
That's
Okay.
all I need.
So you hand back the one gold piece, and Kokoro, you start your work. In the meantime, Enid or Old Bog, you found a stool.
And I'm like nodding off. Look at my head's like bobbing.
Okay.
I think I actually fell asleep.
Andrew, I do got to tell you, I do have to make an ability check to produce an exact duplicate for that, though.
A performance check, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, whatever check you want me to do. But
I'll have you do that in a little bit.
Yep.
When you finish. Enid, what are you up to while you see Kokoro doing this thing?
I'm gonna go to the archivist by myself.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna tell anybody.
Okay. Enid, you know this way quite well, and you know what's waiting for you when you go down those stairs. There is a small door, not even central at the bottom landing spot of this area. There's like a pair of double doors that lead into another section, but there's a small door off to your right. That's the archivist's office, and you know that's where Kieran would be. The archives themselves, the massive double doors in front of you, are closed and locked, and if you want to get in there, you need to talk to the archivist. And the name is even on the door now, labeled beautifully in humble speak. Kieran Nightingale, head archivist.
I'm gonna take a deep breath and knock on the door.
All right. You hear a familiar voice on the other side. Come in. The door's open.
I'll go in.
Sitting behind what looks to be like a mahogany desk, very ornate trim with large panels, stacked almost floor to ceiling places with books and scrolls littering their desk. Behind it, you see Kieran. They're wearing a pair of wire-frame spectacles. At first, they don't look up, and they continue writing whatever they're writing. Yes, can I help? He looks up and sees you standing there.
I'm gonna show him the book. Throw it onto the desk. It's a good read.
Kieran just kind of pushes their chair back from the table a little bit, drops their quill and looks absolutely mortified. They look at the book sitting on the table in front of them and up at you. But their glance up at you is super brief. So you can tell Kieran is not comfortable looking you in the eye.
I need something.
You shouldn't be here.
You shouldn't have stolen my work. I need something.
I didn't mean to steal your work.
And?
I'm truly sorry for what happened. They told me it would be okay for you, that there would be no harsh punishment for you.
Who?
The deans.
The deans told you? Told you? What?
I can't say. You shouldn't be here. It's not safe.
Kieran, don't you think I know that? I need something. That's the least you can do.
What do you need?
I'm going to show him Silverberry's book. Them. Silverberry's book.
They look at it and they say, "What is that?"
Against my wishes, but for the wishes of a very, very intelligent professor, I was asked to share this. I am not sharing it for keeps. I am hoping that you can help me understand this enough that I can solve your wrongs.
Can you make an insights check for me, please?
Insight.
You can clearly see Kieran, who you've known for several years while you studied together here at the Luminarium, was often very level-headed, very rational, very intelligent. When you look at them now, Kieran looks extraordinarily uncomfortable, but you can chalk that up to facing you. But they also look terrified.
I also need maps. You can find me at the vat.
They put one hand on Silverberry's tome. He entrusted you with this to deliver here?
Against my wishes.
Did you
I
read?
wouldn't be here if this was a choice.
Did you read what's in here?
I tried.
Try harder. And she pushes the book back.
I'll take it. We need to find someplace. And I need maps that are only in your care.
Any map I can offer you. I can find and deliver to you. That's not a problem. I received a request, by the way, for your friend's lineages, Harlowe and Kokuro.
Also against my wishes. Seems they have
Um,
quite strong.
Be careful, Enid. Silverberry is not who you think he is.
Seems that's a pretty common thing.
You should go. I'll send the maps to the vat. And these are maps of the Dreamwood. I assume these are maps related to the heart, not.
We're just looking. And yes, of the Dreamwood. Also, of the stars. During that time. I can't explain why.
You see, Kieran manages to regain some of their composure, and they say, "You were always better at reading the stars than me. You coming here, asking for these things, delivering this tome, have numbered my days. You should flee."
Do I know what they mean by that?
Make an insight check.
That's the wrong thing. Click.
You don't know what they could be referring to. Whatever it is, it has terrified every fiber of Kieran. And they just, if they're telling you to get the fuck out, they're being honest and genuine about it.
I guess my more specific question is like Kieran's fear is different than my fear.
When you notice, they notice you looking at them like this and just kind of questioning their motives, speak up, and there is much going on within the halls of the Luminarium that do not see the bright light of day. That these machinations only work in the darkest halls. How do you think that I, having just graduated with a thesis clearly not my own, had been appointed to head archivist of the Luminarium, unless somebody cleared a path for me to get here?
Kieran, I'm being honest, that never quite was my concern. 5 years of research. 5 years.
I had my own thesis to present. And they shuffle around in some piles of scrolls and papers until they pull up an enormous, like foot tall stack of papers and plumps it onto the desk with a puff of dust following it. This was my thesis. This is what I had been working on. This is what I was going to present. But I was told.
Title.
Well, You find something here.
I can't read all of it, obviously, in this moment, but I just want to know why my research would have been chosen over theirs.
It's not because my research was better or worse, or yours was better or worse than mine. They explicitly told me to present your material so that they could accuse you of plagiarism and get you kicked out. That was not my idea.
You could have told me.
How, when? How? These were dangerous people. And when they find that we have talked like this, that you're asking questions about, both our lives are in danger now.
Karen, I came here in great fear. Even now I shake. But it seems to me that your fear is not of the same nature as mine. And despite the absolute rage I still harbor for you, if you are in true danger, please do everything you can. Keep yourself safe. I really do wish that for you.
You've always had such a good heart, Enid. And I'm so sorry for having betrayed you the way that I did. But at the time, I thought I was doing the right thing for both you and me. Because I knew it was not safe here. And by doing this, at least one of us would get out.
Then come with me.
I can't. I have thrown my hat in. I know too much. Just go, please, and don't come back.
You know too much. You're going to let... What kind of wizard would let that kind of knowledge go to waste?
Ones that perhaps don't care whether you're alive or dead to tell about it. So please, before anyone else sees you down here, go.
I'm gone. But I hope to hear of your research someday. Can I take their research? Will they let me?
Do you ask, or do you just take it?
No. I'll point to it. Say, I never truly got to finish reading.
Really? You would read it?
I would like to.
I'd be honored. And they kind of shuffle the stack of parchment towards you. And they pull out a big ball of string so you can start tying all these sheets of paper together. I never got it bound because it was never published, but at least with you, I know that it is in the hands that would appreciate it for what it is.
I'll read it.
And besides, I owe you a thesis anyway.
That's for sure.
Take care of yourself, Enid. And your friends, too. You're all in grave danger as long as you stay here in Jowa.
Kieran, is Silverberry here?
Yes. He's on campus. And with that, I'm going to switch over quickly back to Kokuro and Old Bog. Kokuro, you feel a small tap, not on your shoulder, but kind of like on your shoulder blade behind you. You turn around, there's no one at that height, but if you lower your gaze a little bit, you see...
I don't lower my gaze.
You don't?
No, I go back to doing what I was doing.
That's an ass. All right. So this time, to ensure that he's properly seen, standing in front of you, opposite the scribing table, is this tiny, ancient professor. He looks at you. He looks at what you're drawing.
Can he?
Oh, I mean, it's a big table, big map, unless you're...
That's how I was scribing, like this.
Yeah.
So I would like to look up.
Yeah, he just says... He's got his little like sly smile on his face, but he just finger motions for you to follow him.
Did I finish scribing?
I would actually roll a performance check. I'll say anything higher than an 18, and you managed to finish the one map by now.
I rolled these at advantage, so I'm just going to roll twice because I can't do the alt thing for whatever reason.
Okay.
Oh, that's not good.
All right.
So I did something.
Yeah, it's not an exact duplicate.
Yeah.
It's better than my stickman. So he motions for you to follow. You recognize him as the professor that you saw in the copper vat at the very beginning.
And I've never had any bad experiences with him. So
No.
I would roll it up, take all the scribe materials with me. Can I put those in my backpack? So like I want to take like extra paper and stuff if possible.
Okay, and you're not trying to hide the fact that you're doing this.
I mean, I'm just trying to move quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you see the female servant scribe next to you, just looking at you.
I just turn my back to her. Like,
she's judging you hard.
know her. Yeah, I'll pack as many as I can, whatever I can get out of there, so I can try to.
Okay.
But I'll be bringing the maps with me and stuff too. Like,
all right, Old Bog, can you make a perception check for me, please?
I'm sleeping.
With disadvantage.
are you serious right now?
Yeah, I fell asleep. All right, so perception at disadvantage. How do I roll with disadvantage again?
Control. No, it's still not bad. Jeez.
I was just barely sleeping. I was like
A
lately.
light sleeper.
I was a light sleeper. Yeah, more
yeah,
just bored out of my mind, really. I just happened to nod off.
So I don't know what it was. Perhaps it was just like a movement of air next to you or whatever, because it certainly wasn't sound. Because everything is dead quiet in this room. You happen to look up just as you see Professor Silverberry escorting Kokuro out of the library.
Good. I hurry up and stand up and shuffle after them. We're about ready to get out of this place. So if they're heading towards the door, I'm right behind them.
They are indeed. So as soon as you go through the door, the immediate rush of sound hits you like a wall. And it's so bizarre after having in such a quiet place, suddenly transition into a place where even like background noise of people murmuring and chattering just sounds so intense. It's a bit off-putting, not off-putting, but little heart takes a little bit of adjustment, a moment of adjustment to get used to again. And Professor Silverberry turns to you, Kokuro.
Mhm.
one of my students mentioned that there was a couple of a kenku and a servant that didn't look quite right within the library, and I thought I'd come to investigate, and I'm very pleased to have found that it is the two of you. It is odd that you two would have probably been the very last two of the chosen ones to be at the Luminarium library. What brings you here?
Have we walked outside of the library?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to just kind of like, I don't want to stop. I want to like keep on walking ish slightly away from the library. We're just, you know, visiting areas per the order of Kusat. You remember him, right? Foretold by the stars. You had a great time. We had a great time. The bar had a great time. Right, stool guy?
I missed that.
It's a good
Don't
place.
remind me, bird brain.
Foretold by the stars, indeed. Do you remember, Kokuro, when we first met? You were nothing but a hatchling at the time.
I remember meeting you at the Copper Vat. I was there. You were there. Stool guy was there. We had a great time.
No. Yes, you were quite young. It wouldn't surprise me if those days are but a distant, unreachable memory for you now. But for me, it seems like just like yesterday. And can you make a history check for me, please?
I'm not ready for this, Andrew.
And okay. If you guys don't mind, we're just going to do a brief little segue into a moment in Caesar's past.
Fuck.
All right, stop bringing up the players here. 12. Okay. This is at a time when you lived in the crown, Kokuro. You had a happy childhood. You wanted for nothing.
I knew
You
it.
lived
Spoiled.
in a noble's home. And there were always important visitors passing in and out, visiting with your parents, who were held in quite high esteem within the various social circles of the crown. And it dawns upon you that one of those social visits was from a much younger, at the time, Professor Silverberry. Not as gray, not as scruffy, a little bit more kempt, a little bit straighter back, a little better posture. And he was in deep conversation with your parents when you, perhaps maybe 3 years old at the time, 3 to 4 years old, you've learned how to talk, you can walk, but you're basically a toddler. A big toddler here, but you're a toddler nonetheless.
I'm sure I'd be a talker for sure.
You're both the same, maybe even a little smaller than Professor Silverberry at this time. And Professor Silverberry, upon seeing you, and this must be your prodigy. Kokuro, how are you today?
Good.
As he bends down, I have a piece of candy for you, and he pulls out a nice little like red lollipop and hands it to you. Your wonderful parents were just telling me all about you and how gifted you are. They tell me that you are quite musically inclined. Is that true?
Yes.
Really? That is excellent news. You should keep up with that. And he turns back to your parents. I'll keep my eye out on this one. I have ins with the Luminarium Orchestra. Perhaps when he's old enough, Kokoro could audition for it. I'm sure he'll take whatever place or whatever seat he wishes when the time comes. And you see your parents kind of looking proudly down at you at the time, thinking, Kokoro has many paths before him, but I have one in mind in particular. But he's too young, even at this age, to be talking of such things. Let him enjoy his childhood, his lollipop, and those days are yet to come, and we'll deal with them when they arrive. Professor Silverberry turns back to you and says, your parents are very wise indeed. Don't ever forget. Listen to them. They know what's best for you.
Okay.
I'm keeping my eye out on you, Kokoro. I expect great things. He gives you a little pat on the head. He leaves after the visit. Parents dote on you a little bit more, but the next memory that follows is you in your adolescent years.
Okay.
All right. And your parents now, when you were a child, they were the center of your universe. But as of late, it seems as though they don't even care about you. Or whenever they do talk to you, they demand something from you. They want you to do some kind of chore, or do your homework, sit up straight. It's never, there's no love anymore, or so it seems to Kokoro. What is life like for Kokoro at this time, growing up in a household like that?
Hell. Bad. Doesn't want to be there. Honestly, think about running away almost every night.
Okay. And you notice as you get older through those formative years, your father becomes more and more strict with you, telling you what you can and cannot do. You cannot have this friend. You cannot see that person. You have a curfew. You need to be home by this amount of time. You need to learn your political studies. You need to learn all this other stuff. And you need to be careful how you present yourself in the community because it reflects on them. And all this highly structured, highly controlled life. And it all seems to be leading you down a path that your parents want you to walk upon. And as these thoughts of running away continue to persist, over the course of these years, your parents have started to climb the political ladder until the point where your father has been invited to join the council. By that time, you are... How old is Kokoro present day?
Probably like 25, I would say.
Okay, so this would have been maybe just as maybe when you're turning around 18, when they invited your father Kanjuro to join the council. What is going through Kokoro's mind at this point?
That probably my life is even about to get even worse than it already was. and I don't want anything to do with that at all.
Okay. So you're actively looking for a way to escape this life. You see the path laying out before you. If you were to stay in this lifestyle, this house, it's all every moment and every step of your political career has been planned out for you. And it's not something that Kokuro is interested in. And how old was Kokoro when he finally ran away?
I would probably say like the year after.
Okay, so 19-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Between your 18th and 19th birthday.
At least attempted to.
Right. Okay, the first attempt. Right. You see Professor Silverberry looking a little bit older, more, but not necessarily distinguished. He still looks a little rough. Pays another visit to your parents. Says, it's so nice to see your family again, and your son's all grown up. So that's such promise for you. And look at you now. He looks at you curiously and says, what am I looking at, Kokoro?
You're looking at me. And I just do like a respectful bow. Nice to see you again.
And nice to see you too. Have you been keeping up with your studies? You're in training, and you've listened well to everything your parents have guided you along?
Every single step.
Excellent. Excellent then. He looks back at your parents, and they have a different expression on their face now when they look at you. It's cold. It almost feels like disappointment. But go ahead and make an insight check. You see behind that, though, you're familiar with their parenting style now. But you see your mother flinch and turn away. And just as she does so, you can see her eyes welled up with tears.
What's wrong, Mom? Did I say something wrong?
No, son. No. So you can see her kind of take a handkerchief, still facing away from you, dab her eyes out, and she turns to face you and says, turns to face you again with a weak smile this time and says, you have a great destiny before you, Kokoro. Professor Silverberry has seen it. And Professor Silverberry looks back at you and says, oh, yes, my son. It has been foretold in the stars.
What has been foretold in the stars, Mr. Silverberry, sir?
Oh, greatness. Greatness for you, Kokoro. No one will forget your name.
When he says the word greatness, like in my head, I'm thinking about performing. And I'm thinking about like making my own choices. And I'm thinking about freedom. And that kind of sticks with me for a bit.
Go ahead and make an insight check for me, please. You're wrapped up in your own thoughts about what greatness means to you. Lost in your own thoughts and even daydreaming perhaps in that moment of what it could look like to achieve that kind of fame based on who you are and your expression of self. But when you glance back at Professor Silverberry and catch out of the corner of your eye the look on your parents' face, you realize that that's not the same greatness that they had planned for you. This, Professor Silverberry continues, you and I, my son, our fates are intertwined. And we shall meet again. And when the time is right, I will be there to guide you, help you to your greatness.
You can really help me be great?
Yes.
I'll look to my mom and my dad, ask them, like, very seriously, like, is that true?
Your mother walks away, unable to control her tears or herself. You can just see her shoulders kind of shuddering as she sobs heavily as she retreats. Your father, still cold, stone-faced almost, turns to you and says, you have great tasks to be set upon your shoulders. I have no doubt you will succeed. You must succeed.
Why is mom crying? I stand up.
She's simply proud of you.
That's the first time I've heard that in years. Kind of a little late for that word. Huh? Dad?
There is no room in your training for weakness. I trained you. I've taught you what you need to learn, at least the first few steps anyway, along this path to greatness. I did not want, and I did not instill upon you those useless emotions of pride or love.
Useless? The world is filled with pride and love. It's everywhere. Maybe you're just unable to feel those emotions. Father.
Kind of shakes his head. Then turns to Professor Silverberry and says, I do not think my son is ready. He disappoints yet again.
That's more like it, Dad. That's more like it. And I sit back down.
Professor Silverberry is just kind of looking awkward there between you and your father until your father walks away to look after your mother. And Professor Silverberry looks at you and says, Kokuro, you have a big heart. I can see that. I think that's where you draw most much of your strength from anyway. But you must be careful not to let that heart of yours sway you from your purpose, from your legacy, from who you really are.
I'll tell him it's the only thing that's driving me towards my legacy. My greatness. You'll see, right? Foretold in the stars.
Smells to you, foretold indeed. We shall meet again, Kokuro. Perhaps when you're more willing to accept what is being offered.
We'll see if we meet at all again.
And with that, we'll go back to Luminarium.
Felix.
And you see Professor Silverberry there. Yes, I knew we would meet again, young man. My, look how you have grown in just a few years.
Oh. Yeah, it's been a little bit. Last place that I thought I'd run into you at. I mean, I thought the last place was the Copper Vat, but chose to believe that wasn't you.
Oh, well, have you changed your mind then?
No.
That's good. That's one of the things I really admire about you, Kokuro. Your dedication to your values, and I have to admire you for that. The fact that one of your values is that of your self-determination and freedom, well, very admirable indeed. Perhaps you are more ready than you think you are.
Perhaps I am, and I give him that little mock bow that I gave to him a while back when I saw him a couple years ago.
And he turns briefly to you, old Bog, and says, You have not aged well, my friend.
I don't know. Who's to say?
There is a task upon both your shoulders now, and upon the shoulders of your friends. That is the weight of the world. Are you too ready to bear that weight?
About as ready as a three-legged stool.
It's not the most stable seating arrangement. I think it works better with 4 legs.
But it gets the job done, doesn't it, old man?
I guess so does sitting on a one-legged stool, but that doesn't really. Anyway, I didn't mean to have a philosophical conversation about stools with an old Bog. But have a good day. And
I'll go look at Kokuro and say, what the hell was he talking about?
he makes it past you towards the elevators.
I met him before at my parents' place when I was like 18, 19 years ago. He came in that day, spoke to me about greatness, spoke to me about a path, which I thought was like politics or whatever at the time. Still do, kind of. I don't know. Funny enough, He did use the phrase "foretold by the stars," which now I don't even know if it's a joke anymore. When we saw him in the copper vat, kind of chose to believe that he wasn't there. Sure, he didn't really make it known either. But I don't know what he wants from us. I don't know how he's. It's just weird, isn't it? Like,
Yep.
you were at the vat, and I was at the vat, and your daughter was yelling at you. You deserve that, by the way. And then all of a sudden, him and the two girls out of nowhere.
Right. That was weird.
And then now, out of nowhere. I mean, I guess he works here, but like,
But still, I think he's following us.
I don't trust that guy.
Hope. I don't
Mr.
trust this whole. I don't trust this whole place. Let's get out of here.
Well, we need Enid. And I have to finish
Yeah.
this.
Speaking
Where'd
of
she go
Enid,
anyway?
Enid, back down in the archives section, where you are having a strange conversation with your nemesis. I don't know if you can call Kieran your nemesis anymore, but Kieran emphasizes once more, leave Joa. You are not safe here.
That much is clear. Where do I go?
Anywhere. Wait. There's one more thing you should know. You have all been told that you are the chosen ones. But look, and Kieran reaches for Silverberry's tome.
Hmm.
Do you let them take it?
Yeah.
They take it. They start leafing through it. They're frantically looking for something. They clearly know their way around this thing. And they get near maybe the bottom, like last 20 pages or so of the book. And they stab their finger on the page there. There. Read that. And as your eyes follow to where Kieran's pointing, you see the note, foretold by the stars there. And you notice, you see your names listed there. But there was no connection between your names and any mapping of stars or constellations. At least not initially, not in that page of the book. Perhaps with a bit more research, you'd be able to find something. But for what it looks like there, he basically hand-picked each of you. And that's how you became the chosen ones.
Is there any information about why?
Kieran looks at you and says, I don't know why he picked you and your friends. I don't know why. I haven't. This is the first time I've seen the tome all together in one piece, but I know that there are more secrets in here. What I'm confused about is why he willingly gave it to you. to deliver to me. It's almost as if, and then Karen realizes something. He wanted us to meet. He wanted me to tell you all this. My life is already forfeit.
And I am insisting. Please come.
I cannot. I have wronged you. You're not the only one that I have wronged in their name. No. Even though my days may be numbered here, I'll do what I can. I was told to falsify the genealogies for your friends. I may just be new on the job and terribly inexperienced at that, but I know how to look up a family tree. It does not take 2 days. And she pulls out some more paper and just give these to your friends. This is the real lineage. Your friend Harlowe can follow hers back to Pongo, one of the 5. Your friend Kokuro can trace his lineage back to Kramine, the necromancer.
This is what I feared. I can't do this alone.
I must go, run, and take your friends with you. The maps I will send as soon as I can. I'll make that my top priority.
You've betrayed my trust once. I cannot put those at the vat in danger. If this is this danger seems more dangerous than I was expecting. I need to know that what little trust I have in you right now is worth it. This information about the vat is only for you.
Karen goes behind their desk, slowly pulls open the center drawer, and pulls out an envelope, already sealed with a blob of wax, and hands it to you. This letter,
Can I open it here?
I would ask that you do not. That when the time comes, you can present this letter to the governing body of the Luminarium, and it will right everything that I have wronged for you. I will admit to my plagiarism. I will I will accept responsibility for everything I've done, even if that means stripping me of my title, my job, my degree. It's all in that letter. If you wish to read it, I know your trust for me is on a knife's edge. Please, if you would like to read it now, I can always, I suppose, reseal it.
You are my family. This, I will keep this. I don't want to use it. What's done is done. But I do hope to see you again.
So do I. Perhaps. But I don't think so.
Forced to see you when I didn't want to ever see you again, and how when I do.
Just
Must be foretold by the stars.
Foretold by the stars. Karen moves back around the desk to get close to you and makes a move as if to embrace you. And
I'll give
as
them a big hug.
all right, and as they hug you back, Karen does whisper, "I'm so sorry, Enid."
I need more time to understand why.
I'm not asking for your forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But please, if there's just the one thing you can still believe from me in terms of my words to you, flee. Get out of Joa.
Kieran, what about the crown? How far does this go?
She says, if you'll notice on Kokuro's lineage, his father sits on the council. His father and Silverberry have been working together for quite some time. I cannot prove anything, but I know they are acquainted.
Just out of context or just in general, like, my understanding is that Silverberry wasn't at the Luminarium. Is it normal for him to be there?
He could have held an adjunct position at the Luminarium, or started there and then went to the research outpost for whatever reason.
I didn't ask for this. Didn't ask for any of this. I will flee. The best thing I can do. Special skill set.
One final thing. I believe that they're trying to assemble the verses to a ritual. I don't know what this ritual is or its intent, but I believe there are 5 verses to it, and that the keys to each of those verses lies within each of yourselves and your friends, and that is why you are chosen.
But if Silverberry knew all this, why? Why let it happen like? Why let us meet?
May I again? And she asks for you to pass back his tome.
Yeah.
About halfway through the tome this time, you can see a diagram of like stars and almost like a flow chart of various stars and positions. You see how there is a divergence here. There are more than 5 verses. My belief is that he wanted you to find the 5 verses that he wanted you to say, as opposed to 5 other verses that I don't know what they are, but it looks as if there are alternates.
Alternates.
So it will be up to each of you to know which is the correct verse to sing.
I'm gonna show them one of the verses that whatever it.
Would we have made it down to the archivist bit now? Or are we just like in the library, me and Old Dog in silence going,
Yeah. What?
like looking for Enid everywhere, not finding her?
Yeah. I'll say you could make it down there. You can see the door for the archivists is closed, and maybe some very hushed voices coming from behind it. Would you knock?
No.
Just walk in?
Yeah.
I think that's where we think Enid is. Yeah, I think we would.
All right. Inside, you see Enid and Kieran in what looks to be a very intense conversation.
Do they notice us?
Yeah, they would. And Kieran immediately bolts upright and looks terrified.
Hey,
Is it
Enid.
Enid?
What's the timing on showing?
It would be right now.
So did Kieran get a look at it?
Yeah, Kieran would have, next words out of their mouth would be, "Where did you get this?"
I don't think you'd quite believe me if I told you.
Try me. And who the hell are these people?
Whoa,
I'm gonna grab them by the arms and shove them out.
Whoa, buddy. Whoa. What is going on?
Like strong grip on the arms. And just like outdoors.
I'll resist.
All right, Contested athletics.
Good luck with old Bog. You might have good luck with me.
I think I have a -1.
Nat
I
20.
can't even see what the.
Nat 20.
What? But she's supposed to do it against old Bog.
Nah,
19.
old dog won't contest. If Enid
All
wants
right.
him out of the room, he'll acquiesce. Even though he doesn't know what acquiesce means. That's what.
Enid. Somehow, you muster up the strength to push Kokuro and Old Bog willingly back out the door.
Trust me, we are in danger. You need to just stay put. I promise I will explain.
Okay, but
Old Bog
Silverberry's
shrugs.
here.
I know. That's the reason.
Here.
Just I don't have time to explain, and I'll shut the door. And then just very quickly, I want to tell Kieran the whole story, like the abridged version of going to save the children and meeting with her root. And trying to like look at the stars through Silverberry's telescope.
Can he be trusted with the root?
I don't know. I don't know who to trust. Kieran. But all I know right now is that at one point, some version of me trusted you. And if I can't get this information back to Thadric, then you're my best hope of understanding any of this.
Do you mind? Oh, no, I shouldn't. You shouldn't have even shown this to me, actually. I'm afraid that if they try to torture me, I might tell them inadvertently. So, no. Don't tell me anymore. Don't tell me where you're going. Just go.
For all you know, I went out of Joa.
I hope, for your sake, that is true.
Kieran, I will look for you in the stars.
She sheds a tear over that. Oh, Enid. It's too late for me for that. Now your friends seem to be waiting outside. Go. And if I heard right, Professor Silverberry's prowling about. You need to go now.
I want to give a really, really, really big hug. And I don't know what I have. I don't have anything.
You'll hear Kokuro go, "Just kiss them already."
I guess, I mean, the best thing I can give them is just leave the copy of the research. That's the most valuable thing. And I guess I'll leave. Grab them by the arms again. Tell them to walk.
All right. And that is where we'll end tonight's session.
Ugh, of course. He was trying to get out of the library.
The trip to the Luminarium.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Just doing a quick wrap up here. Thanks for those of you who watched. If you want to watch more games from different systems, different GMs, please check out our other playlists online. We got City of Mist game going, Brindlewood Bay, an Alien game actually in a couple of days, and there's Pirate Borg, obviously, live. And all our future live plays will be moved to Twitch in the future, with VODs becoming available on YouTube within the following week. Thanks for all watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.